Hello, my beautiful friends. I hope you're having a fabulous day. If you are interested in true crime stories like I am, I hope that you consider hitting that subscribe button. Today, we're going to be talking about the gruesome murder of young Charlette James Dawkin. We will be looking at the events surrounding her death, which is riddled with a mom having a blind eye and a step-parent who was just pure evil. Charlette James Dawkins was born on December 11, 2013 in Voorhees, New Jersey to her mother, Caitlin Royston, and her father, Anthony Dawkins. They were relatively young when she was born. She had rosy cheeks, lovely long blonde hair, mesmerizing blue eyes, and a dazzling grin when she was 3 years old, giving her a look of an angel. Her grandmother, Renee Rodriguez, posted on Facebook that she was referred to as tiny but mighty and incredibly lovable. Her grandmother, Kirsten, doted on her and affectionately called her little babe. Her big extended family showered her with love and admiration. She held equal awe and respect for her heroic princesses and princesses alike in her heart. According to the statement that Renee gave to NJ.com, she had a soft spot for tiaras, but she also adored putting on costumes of Batman when she had the chance. Everyone who ever had the good fortune to interact with her thought highly of her. Unfortunately, there was one person in Charlotte's life, Travis Graham, who was her mother's boyfriend at the time, but who did not love and care for Charlotte in the same way that everyone else in Charlotte's life did. This person was the exception. Instead of providing Charlotte with the love that she needed, the affection, direction, and the support necessary to nourish her, he sadly brought her life to an abrupt and untimely conclusion through violence. But first, a word from our sponsor. Temu is one-stop online shopping platform that has it all. I was introduced to Temu from my sister. She wanted to cut cost on her wedding, and so she ordered all of the flowers and did them herself, and she ordered them from Temu. The pictures speak for themselves. It was completely beautiful. It exceeded her expectations. Weddings are expensive, but with Temu's mission being high quality products at lower prices, it made it affordable. They have site-wide sales with savings up to 90%, free shipping, free returns for up to 90 days, a $5 credit for late deliveries. They also have a price protection policy. If you order something and the price drops within 30 days, you can request a partial refund. Here are the things I bought. I wanted to get an air fryer to do a little bit of healthy cooking, and I also ordered it alongside of some other amazing kitchen items. Look at this little egg thing. I don't know, it's so adorable. The kids love it. Also, I am ready for Christmas. Look at all these amazing Christmas items. This Christmas tree with these little snowmans, which I ended up kind of messing around with them. I did them one way and then I switched them another. This huge coffee mug that I got that was so much bigger. I had to do a comparison so you could see the difference between them. Man, so cool. I also got Zoe a few things, but of course she was there when I was unboxing them, so I gave them to her early. The stuffed animal and the slippers, oh my gosh, Zoe is so beautiful. But anyways, Temu is offering us a $100 coupon bundle. Amazing deals right now. To get started, download Temu App, which is linked down below. I'll also have a pinned comment, but this $100 coupon bundle also can be accessed by code DKG3523 in the app. But again, everything will be linked. And this was proven because Travis indicated that he was at the home he shared with Caitlin on Bittersweet Drive in New Jersey on March 13, 2017. He was watching Charlotte all by himself. throughout this time period, they're the only two home. It is important to remember that just 2 months before this occurrence of the event, Travis had just recently popped the question to Caitlin, the mom. So by this point, they are engaged, which means that Travis is fully aware of the co-parenting situation, that he's willing to take on this position because it's a package deal, right? Travis claimed that while he was alone with Charlette, allegedly, Charlette broke the screen of her iPad by mistake. So because of this, he told Charlette to go to bed as punishment for her carelessness. He was walking downstairs when he heard her stumbling and falling down the stairs as she was making her way upstairs to her bedroom. Thankfully, he was able to grab her just in time to prevent her from falling all the way down. Well, isn't Travis just a hero? He saved the day. She was going to fall all the way down, but I caught her. All right, let's continue. Travis said Charlette showed signs of being upset for almost an hour and a half before she eventually dozed off. Before this time, Travis said Charlette did appear to be upset, but eventually fell asleep. So he sent her to her room. She's fussing and not wanting to go to sleep, but after about an hour and a half, she finally did doze off. Before this time, Travis said Charlette did appear to be upset, but, she did fall asleep. He discovered that she had some blood in her mouth as he tried to wake her up from her sleep. She had apparently been napping for quite some time. Charlette was not waking up, so Travis claimed that he started CPR and then took her to Jefferson Stanford Hospital. He did his best, he would claim. I did my best. I always am super suspicious when parents or step-parents don't call 911. They just bring their, lifeless child to the hospital instead of calling 911. I don't know, it always just strikes a chord with me. Like, why wouldn't you call for help immediately? But anyways, when Charlette arrived to the hospital, she was not in good shape. She was still alive, so this resulted in Charlette being rushed by helicopter to the prestigious Copper University Hospital in Camden. After arriving, she was promptly attended to in the intensive care unit by a group of highly trained medical professionals who were experts in pediatric care. They found out that their professional assessment that her pupils were fixed and dilated, which is a clear symptom of major brain injury. In addition, they discovered the shocking findings that she had bruises across her forehead. She had them across her chest, her belly, her legs. Her ribs were fractured and were in the process of healing. I don't know how nobody was able to notice how battered this child was and how much pain she would have had been in to have broken ribs and healing stages. While she's in the hospital, the path of Charlette was marked by many instances of cardiac arrest, which resulted in her being diagnosed with a serious traumatic brain injury after she was taken to the hospital. The doctor arrived at the conclusion that there is a high degree of certainty that Charlette has been a victim of physical abuse. Nothing was looking right to them. It all led right back to physical abuse. Nothing in her medical records, her charts from the past, showed any types of issues, like any kind of diseases or autoimmune or anything of why these many of bruises and fractured ribs and, nothing was showing that she had any illnesses. So it all led back to abuse. Although Charlette was a fighter, there was just too much damage done to her little body, and Charlette was pronounced as brain dead. The family did make the selfless decision to donate her organs, which is amazing that Charlette went on to save others. What a little trooper. But in spite of the suspicions that surrounded Travis and the cloud of mystery that surrounded Charlotte's sudden death, Caitlin never wavered in her defense of Travis. This is shocking considering the amount of bruises and broken ribs that were on Charlotte. How would Caitlin not have noticed the sheer pain her daughter was in? Charlotte's death, of course, came as a shock to everyone, especially the family outside of that household. This strong dedication between Caitlin and Travis frequently resulted in conflicts within her mother and other family, who were all certain in their belief that Travis was to blame for Charlotte's untimely end. Travis, after his story to the police, told the family that Charlotte, who was standing at the top of the staircase, had given him a pinch when she was being stubborn about not wanting to take a nap. Because of the power with which he struck her in the head, she whirled around and ended up tumbling down the flight of steps. She went down on her face and went unresponsive after the fall. He stated that she had an accident and wet herself, so he assisted in changing her clothes and then took her to the hospital. And this all happened within 5 minutes of the occurrence. Raise your hand if you are surprised by the change in Travis's story. No hands? But get this, according to the statement of probable cause for his arrest, the text messages he sent to Caitlin suggested that he waited 3 hours before approaching that emergency room hospital with Charlotte's basically lifeless body. On October 10, 2017, nearly 7 months after Charlotte's demise, Caitlin gave birth to Travis's baby, another little girl. The event was a sad turn of events for some, for Charlotte and Travis, because it occurred the same day that Travis would be arrested. However, their happiness of having a new baby was short-lived as well because of a series of unfortunate events that resulted in the young couple losing temporary custody of this newborn baby. The child was given to the care of a reliable relative during this time. But that didn't get the couple down. Oh no. A lovely love tale was brought to life in the year of 2018 during the month of February when Caitlin Graham and Travis Graham tied the knot and began sharing their lives together as husband and wife. I nearly puked to get that out. She married this man, Travis. Travis was arrested in July for his involvement in 3 armed robberies. So now he's a killer and a thief. Total marriage material. He was to stay in jail until his trial. According to the allegation, there was a delay in 3 hours. As I mentioned, so his first story, he said he put her to bed. His second story says that he took her to the hospital right away. But the new allegation, his probable cause, stated that there was a 3-hour delay because he was texting Caitlin, Charlotte's mom, and he had alerted her that she had fallen down the stairs. And then eventually he transported her to the hospital. The text that Graham wrote to Charlotte's mother was included in the complaint. 7 days after he was arrested, he disclosed to the authorities that on the same day he had been monitoring Charlotte, who had refused to take a nap while she was in his custody. According to the statement that establishes probable cause, he said that she pinched him and in response, he struck her in the forehead with a backhand blow. He claimed that he struck her with such power that it caused her to turn around and fall down the steps and land on her face. He also added that when he arrived at the foot of the stairs, she was unconscious there. After she had fallen down the steps, he swiftly brought her to the hospital. This all took place within 5 minutes, as I mentioned earlier. I do not believe, I think it's a combination of both stories, that he definitely didn't take her to the hospital after 5 minutes. And this pinch thing, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm buying that either. At a hearing on July 30th to decide if Travis should be detained in custody before the trial for the robberies, Assistant Prosecutor Kristen Shaw indicated that there is a potential Travis might also face charges for the murder of Charlotte. The purpose of the hearing was to assess whether Travis should be retained in custody before the trial. The findings of the investigation were reevaluated on August 2nd by the medical examiner's office, which came to the conclusion that Charlotte's cause of death was indeed homicide. Travis was taken into custody on July 11th after the police received information from the members of the community linking him to the armed robbery that took place at Pine Run Deli. Travis walked into the deli on June 27th while wearing a hooded sweatshirt that read Atco Dragway. The guy allegedly demanded money from the clerk while holding a knife and covering his face with a bandana, as reported by the police. After that, he ran out of the shop and immediately began sprinting in the direction to the back of the deli, ultimately heading to the area of Lower Landing Road. The photographs and the video footage of Travis captured at the scene were released to the public the day after they were taken, after they got him, and the police were soon notified later that indicated that Travis was the robber by the community. After his arrest, Graham's name was brought up in connection with 2 more armed robberies. Following the armed robbery that took place at the deli on January 24th of that year, he is suspected of being the driver who assisted the perpetrators in escaping the scene of a crime. Travis was also arrested and charged with shoplifting on February 3rd, 2017, after he was caught stealing money and smokes from a Pantry One. The Gloucester Township Police and the New Jersey State Police worked together on the investigation and the resolution of these incidents. In connection with the robberies, the various charges of criminal activity have been brought against Travis. These charges included 2 counts of robbery in the first degree, 1 count of first-degree conspiracy to commit robbery, 1 count of possession of a firearm for an unlawful purpose in the second degree, 1 count of unlawful possession of a handgun in the third degree, 1 count of unlawful possession of a knife in the third degree for an unlawful purpose, and 1 count of unlawful possession of a knife in the fourth degree. I just wish all of these charges would have happened prior to Charlotte's death or prior to Caitlin and him getting together, but that's just wishful thinking and it's pointless. But it just, he was on a path to spending a lot of time in jail, but unfortunately he met Charlotte first, which just breaks my heart. Travis did eventually confess to committing aggravated manslaughter. As part of his plea agreement, the judge in the charge of his case sentenced him to 30 years in state prison for the murder of Charlotte and for the 3 separate robbery charges. He must serve at least 25 years before being eligible for parole. As Travis entered the courtroom, he briefly looked at a photo of Charlotte that was displayed on the screen, and then he just promptly looked away. During the hearing, he primarily looked down at the table, even when a 15-minute video displaying pictures of Charlotte's life was being shown. According to a plea agreement, the judge has sentenced Travis to a 20-year prison term for causing the death of a child. In addition, he was to serve 10 more years for conspiracy to commit armed robbery, which represents 3 concurrent terms. Those terms will coincide with Travis's current 5-year term. These terms are related to robbery charges. It's just different counties, different whatever. He has to spend at least 25 years there, which he is 22 at the time, so that'll 47. He's still going to be young, But that's, of course, he's eligible for parole. That doesn't mean he'll get out. With the amount of charges he has, I highly doubt that he'll get out at 25-year mark, but who knows. The judge stated that Travis had not lived a life in accordance with the law. The judge mentioned that Travis had been convicted 3 times in Superior Court, 7 times in the municipal court, and also committed a violent offense when he was a juvenile. Travis chose not to speak in court, but his attorney stated that Travis admitted to being responsible for all the charges against him. The attorney stated that he has taken responsibility for his actions, especially regarding Charlotte's death. The positive aspect of Travis putting in this guilty plea is that it prevents a long drawn out trial and dragging Charlotte's family and extended family members through it as well. But in turn, Travis also gets a lighter sentence. As for Caitlin, well, she basically walks away scot-free. She was not home when it happened, so could not be charged with anything. Caitlin would later turn on Travis and say she was a victim of him as well. But I'm not buying it. She was with him for years after Charlotte's death and even married him. She left the hospital when Charlotte was brain dead and dying. She just left the hospital with Travis and never turned back. She left all the decisions of Charlotte to a 20-year-old. She just walked out of the hospital and I'm done. Gave responsibility over to a 20-year-old. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how she sleeps at night, but over and over again, Caitlin failed Charlotte, in my opinion, in life and in death. Just my opinion. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this case. Let's leave a pink heart in the comments for little Charlotte and her family that fought for justice for her and are still continuing to keep her name alive. Thanks to all my channel members and my Patreons who continue to support me. If you would like early access to new videos or decide the cases I cover next, you can do so by clicking the join button. Well, if you have made it to the end, you are a rock star, and I love you to death. There are more true crime stories in my Crimey Cases playlist for you to check out. Stay safe, my loves, and remember, if you see something, say something. Bye.